Happy Wednesday! You know what Wednesdays mean. On Wednesday, we chat. Welcome to the Cookie Chat, episode number 12. Oh my goodness, 2 hands now. And this is our episode all about pop-up shops with our special guest tonight. So welcome to the live, guys. Hi, everyone signing in. Hello, hello. Let's get all comfy in the husband's work chair. Hi, friends. Give everyone a moment. It is Wednesday. Does anyone else feel like the week is just zipping by? Hello. Hi, guys. Well, something different about tonight is I don't have my other half, Miss Melissa. She is using this time to get ahead on her pre-sales, as we've been talking about for the past couple weeks with all the major holidays coming. So let's send her all the positive vibes and hearts that we miss her. We hope she is getting this time decorating, and maybe she'll pop on the live and watch us. So we are thinking about her, but don't let that mislead you at all, because I have an amazing guest tonight, Chelsea from Pink Lemon Cookies. You guys, it's Wednesday. On Wednesdays, we chat, and today we are chatting with the Chelseas. You guys get a double whammy of 2 Chelseas. I mean, could you think of anything better? I can't. But with that being said, I am going to bring on our special guest so we can dive deep in this episode about pop-up shops. You guys had so many wonderful questions. So let me get her added. There we go. She should be joining us momentarily. Hello, everyone logging in. Hi, welcome to Wednesday. Welcome, friend.
Yay, hi.
You're here.
It's the Chelseas.
It is the Chatting with Chelseas. That's what we're going to call these.
Oh, God.
I mean, I couldn't think of anything better.
I put on my glasses, but that light, I'm trying to illuminate my dark office. It's my husband's office, but I might have to take them off.
I know mine always has a reflection. Melissa gets away with hers not, but mine always have the ring light look. So can you see the comment scrolling? Last week we were having problems with it. Okay, perfect. That works. Guys, this is Miss Chelsea. If you don't know, Pink Lemon Cookies, welcome to the Cookie Chat.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. So, a little bit of a backstory. Hi, Chelsea Squared. I love that. Just be us. I met Chelsea, was it 3 years ago? I think.
Yeah, about. It was after you were on the Christmas cookie challenge. Yeah.
Yes. So I did Christmas Cookie Challenge. I think this will be 3 years coming up in December. And Chelsea sent me the sweetest message and was like, my kids swear we are the same person with the same name. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. And I started following her, and then I felt like it was instant connection.
I know. Sometimes, yeah, my husband will hear us talking and he's like, who are you talking to? You guys sound alike.
Love him. So welcome to the live this week. Perfect. All right. Well, we're going to go over the schedule. I don't have my other half, and she does the schedule, but you guys, here it is for the night. We are going to do a quick little backstory about Chelsea so you guys can learn all the fabulous things about her. Then we're going to dive into our little topic about pop-up shops. Yeah. So, right? Pop-up shop planning, advertising, setting up for the big day, and then we're going to hit on those questions that you guys were sending in. Or if you didn't get to send it in on our stories this week, you are welcome to chat it up in the chat with us. Or on the bottom is going to be a little question mark. You can send your questions that way, and we can display them across the screen for everyone to see. So that's just our quick little rundown, but we're going to dive in. All right, Chelsea.
Let's go.
So you are the guest of the night. Tell us about yourself.
So I live in Round Rock, Texas, which is outside of Austin, and I graduated in advertising, and so I never thought I would be a cookie person. I always had big dreams of working in an advertising agency, creating ads. My ultimate goal would be to create an ad the idea of an ad that would run in the Super Bowl. But anyway, here I am with cookies now. So
hey, that could still be a dream. I'm sure we could do like a cookie or ad that's like,
yeah,
that would be so cute. We're already trademarking.
I love watching commercials. The Super Bowl commercials are the best part.
Oh my gosh.
So
could you, now my mind is going like cookie ears, like with the little like paint, war paint, like flooding like football cookies and touchdown.
With the teams.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see it. I'm visualizing.
Throwing a cookie that's like shaped as a football.
And then it morphs into a football and someone catches it. See,
it's like small businesses create the American dream.
There we go. That's it.
This is how our minds work, guys. This is our conversations like daily. Sidetrack. But that would be amazing.
Yeah, I worked after graduating in advertising. I worked in marketing for a little while and did some event planning and a little bit of copywriting for some smaller companies on the side. And so I love the kind of psychology around why people buy things and target markets and just kind of the research and analytics and stuff. I'm a big thinker, so doing cookies is something I love to do, but I love the social media aspect of just like talking to people online and connecting and stuff.
Awesome. It's funny, we all kind of, the more we're talking to people, have like some type of marketing, advertising, you know?
Yeah.
Interesting how everyone kind of falls into like these categories. We've like teachers and stay-at-home moms and marketing seem to be the big like
commonality.
Yeah, the groups of all. It's amazing. I love, speaking of that, have you read the book of Power of Habit?
I have not.
Oh,
I need to read more.
You should read it because it goes into marketing, and that's like how it kind of like gets into the habits, like how people shop.
I'm gonna write that down. The Power of Habit?
Yes.
Okay.
I love it because they use like case studies and stuff about like why people buy certain things from Target and how Target ads can like specialize and like guess ahead on what people are going to buy based off their shopping habits.
That's probably because your Alexa's listening to you. Is it really?
Yeah, we should turn everyone's on right now.
Yeah.
But yes. So how did you fall into cookies? So you were in advertising. How did this come about?
So I'm a mom of 3 kids, and I had to leave my job. They wouldn't let me do work from home, and just childcare was so expensive. And so I stayed home, and when I used to live in Utah, when I moved to Texas, I got into cookies because when I was turning 30, this sounds ridiculous now, but I made a bucket list of 30 things I wanted to do before I turned 30, as if turning 30 was the end of the world and I needed to like complete this list before it was over. And one of the things I put on there was learning to decorate fancy sugar cookies, because any time I had previously made sugar cookies up until that point, they just spread into blobs, and I always wondered how people got these beautiful cookies to hold their shape. And so I took a class a lot of people have taken from the Allison Show, and I just self-taught myself to make cookies and just practice, brought them to friends. You know, a lot of people have a similar story, and people took notice, and I got, my first order was a friend's mom. She ordered some for her wedding, and so it was a good size order for my first, just kind of like getting in there. And from there, it just kind of word of mouth spread, and once I started getting enough orders, I realized maybe I should make this into a little business. So that's kind of how it all started.
2 things. Are you a part-time baker or full-time baker?
I'm a part-time baker.
Okay. And then second, you had a list of 30 things before your 30s. I have a list of 30 things to do in my 30s.
See, I like that because I only did it when I was 29, so I had 1 year to do 30 things, which actually was kind of hard. So I like that. You have more time. Spread it out.
No, it's a fun thing. You guys, if you haven't done that, I highly recommend picking like something to do. My husband and I have found like birthdays or anniversaries. It's like, well, what do you want to do? It's like, well, let's pick something from the list.
Yeah.
So you start to accomplish things. With your business though, when you decided to start it, how did you get pink lemon, or what is that? Pinkelmon?
Pinkelmon. Everyone says Pinkelmon. And it's so funny because I made my logo a pink lemon, and I thought people would get it. But when it's written out on Instagram, it's all lowercase. And so it just kind of molds together, and it's Pinkelmon. But I find it endearing. I will respond to Pinkelmon, pink lemon, whatever you call me, it's fine. But I got the name because I love pink. So specifically like hot pink. I know, Chelsea, you like more like rose gold, kind
Baby
of
pink, yeah.
lighter pink. Yeah. And I like the loud and bright. So I like neon colors. If I could live in the 80s for life, even though I only lived there for 3 years of my life, I would, because I just love the neon. But I love pink. And then when I started making cookies, I didn't use meringue powder. So I was taught to use egg whites. And when you're using egg whites, to neutralize any potential bacteria that can happen in the meringue powder, it's recommended to put lemon juice into your egg white meringue. And so my cookies naturally had a lemon kind of zing to them. And I thought this, and people really liked it. And so I wanted something that kind of tied in lemon, pink, and I just, from my advertising background, I knew I wanted a logo that was just like a standalone symbol that could, you know, not have any writing on it, and it would just kind of say pink lemon, if that makes sense. But and so I just thought pink lemon cookies, so that's how it kind of came about.
I love that. And no, your logo is very distinguishable. Like when you have it on your wall, you're like, like that could be your copyright or trademark, like picture, like your watermark. You could just have a lemon, and people would be like, oh yeah, know who it is. But I never thought Pinkelmon until you said something, and I was like, am I saying it wrong? I thought it was pink lemon.
And I have a little side like tag business, and I kind of played on that pun, and I called it Pinkelmon puns. So anyway, so it is kind of, I like them both. But
awesome. And you guys, we will be doing a giveaway. Chelsea was so kind and working with us for doing a shop credit. So perfect time of the year to be using it, because she does tags for cookies. And how many times this week, last week, the week before, are we going to be talking about tags on cookies? So, I mean, save you some money, but we will be doing that later on in the show. So let's dive into what this whole episode is about. We are going to tackle pop-up shops. So many questions regarding this, but for all of those who don't know, Chelsea, do you want to tell us what is a pop-up shop? How would you define that?
So in advertising, a pop-up ad, if you will, is whenever you're shopping online and you'll get like a bubble that pops up that says, you know, put your email here now and get 15% off. And so it's sudden, and it just pops out of nowhere, and it pops up and then it pops away. And so if you don't take advantage of that right then, a lot of times when you're shopping, it might go away. And then have you ever been at the checkout of that same purchase and you're like, well, I want that 15% now, but you can't find it anywhere. So it's because it pops up and it pops away. So a pop-up event in cookies is a cookie pop-up that has a bunch of different options, usually catered more towards like gifts, and it pops up in a place, and then when you're done, and it goes away. So it's not like a constant thing. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. A temporary sale. There we go.
There you go. And we've had so many questions about people saying pre-sale, this is my first holiday, do I pre-sale, what do I do? So you guys soak up this information, because a pop-up might be a great way to introduce yourself into holiday sales, where the glorious thing about pop-ups is you get to control the entire process. So speaking of that, Chelsea, the queen of pop-ups, lead us into, how do you plan for your first pop-up?
Well, I don't know if I'm the queen, but I've definitely done a few pop-ups, and
I will hail you the queen.
They were successful. So I'll just share. Everyone maybe does it differently, but this is just how I have found to be successful in a pop-up. So the first thing that I always do is plan an event, create an event on Facebook. So Facebook I know a lot of people don't love Facebook, but it's really great for your business. So your target market is, it's not going to be like the teenagers on TikTok, right? They're not going to be buying your cookies. The target market are usually women, moms, people who use Facebook a lot of times. And so I will create an event on Facebook, and you want to plan. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to organize my thoughts. But yeah,
it's okay.
Create your event on Facebook, and the reason why this is important for two reasons. It's for one, when people join and say, I'm attending this pop-up event, it notifies their friends and family, like, hey, Chelsea is going to this event. And other people might see it and be like, oh, what's this? Let me check this out. And so it kind of markets for you to other people that you may not reach otherwise. And then the second reason is when people RSVP to the event, you are able to get a better idea of how many cookies to make. So I know when you asked the question and when I asked the question, what do you want to know on pop-ups? A lot of people said, how many do I make? And for me, creating a Facebook event really helps kind of give me an estimate of how many people are going to come, and it allows me to make sure I have enough cookies to cover those people that come.
Do you find that you have grown in success the more, like, with your events, people are looking forward to them, knowing that that's kind of like how you lead your business?
Yeah, a lot of times when I'll usually create the Facebook event a month ahead. So It gives people plenty of notice, and I find like people, they get really excited about it. And also it's really great because when people say they RSVP that they're coming to an event on Facebook, they will get a notification before, like, this event is coming up tomorrow. Are you still going? So it already reminds you. It takes a lot of the work out of it for you. So anyway, Facebook is great. If you don't have Facebook and you want to market for a pop-up, you can use Instagram. I would suggest making like a cover photo or something that you can post in your stories. Just make it very cohesive, so it's always the same. And you can post that in stories on your page and just really communicate all the details about the pop-up, and that can work too.
And you guys, that was a huge thing with a lot of people asking that you're maybe experiencing your first holiday sales or holiday season. How do you market to people when your business is still growing? That is gold right there, is the Facebook ad, because even if your friends and family are RSVPing, or you say, hey guys, can you RSVP to this event, again, it will reach their audience that you wouldn't have been able to reach without that. So that is a great tool of amazing information. So thank you for sharing that.
Yes,
I love it.
Okay, the second thing I would say is to plan backwards and plan ahead. So
I love that.
I always take my calendar out, and if my pop-up is on this day, I count backwards. So the last thing you're going to be doing is going to be packaging your cookies. I would always plan. This is always my mistake, and I always do it even though I know. But I underestimate packaging, and I usually am calling in like favors from my mom and my aunt and my cousin, like, help me, I haven't showered in 3 days, like, help me package. We pulled an all-nighter one time packaging for a pop-up. So
I did that
packaging.
my first pop-up.
Terrible.
Like 2 hours of sleep. I'm like, I just want to go to bed.
Yeah. But you're like running on adrenaline. But you're like, your eyes twitching. So always plan ahead with packaging. I would say probably 2 days is a good packaging, just to be safe. And then plan backwards from there. And so when I'm doing, we'll use Christmas, for example. What I do is I bake one day, decorate one day, and then I package, and when I say package the third day, I mean heat seal. Yes. The last day of packaging for a pop-up, that is really adding the bows, the boxes, the tags, any
final
kind of
presentation.
Yes. So getting it ready. But for me, I have a bake, decorate, and heat seal. And then if you're planning, like my first pop-up I did for Christmas, I did about 800 cookies, which is about like 66 dozen, I think. And so It was a lot. It was a lot of cookies, and I couldn't have made that in 1 week.
No.
And so I split it up in 3 weeks. And pop-ups are the only time I might freeze cookies. So if you're a customer, don't freak out if you're listening. Freezing cookies, I don't do it often, but honestly, freezing cookies, I personally and a lot of people think they taste way better.
They're softer
after they're frozen. What do you think? Well, if you have frozen cookies before,
yeah,
do you
let
feel
us
like
know
they taste
below,
better?
guys. Or if you tasted them. I think it's something about, like, you know what, I don't want to say they're still warm, but like obviously still soft, and then you freeze it just locks that in, and I feel like they're softer, like including the icing.
Yes.
Like
yes,
there's more
definitely.
It's not like the crunch of a royal icing. It's like
yeah,
a soft
it's a softer bite. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what I will do is I will plan, using Christmas again, the colors, because if you're making like 15 colors and trying to decorate in advance, it's just, you're going to have your icing out, you're not going to have it out that long.
Yeah.
And so I pick designs, and I'll do about 10 of each designs, and I try to keep them simple. So here's like an Easter cookie I pulled out. That would be a great
You're so amazing
pop-up
for saving these.
It's so hard, but so this is a great pop-up cookie because it has pink and gray. And I used sprinkles for the eyes, and it's very, very simple. There's not a lot. I mean, it's still really cute, but
very cute.
It's not a lot. This is a cookie I've done for pre-sale, but I would not pick this for a pop-up because there are about a million different colors in this cookie, and it's writing, and so it's going to take you a lot longer. And we're going for pop-ups, we're going for really cute but simple, but things that you can crank out a lot of.
And that's what's our advice for pre-sale also, is like, don't try and give your most like detailed, glorious set ever.
Yes.
Real quick, we are having questions of
Okay.
people. Do you freeze them after they're decorated? Do you decorate them freeze? So you're talking like that bunny, you would heat seal and freeze.
So yes, I will heat seal. So what I usually do, and I'll show, I will put the cookie, like here's a bag. When I'm done decorating, I will put the cookie in the bag, and I will heat seal a line about right here, a little bit above the cookie. And then I will fold the bag over like this, and I will layer them into a Tupperware, an airtight Tupperware. And sometimes I'll put, so you know those shelf liners that you put on like your shelf that are non-slip?
Yeah. I put my dehydrator.
So Sweet Sugar Belle, I think, gave me the tip of using those when you're freezing, because it helps so that if your kids like rip out the Tupperware, your cookies aren't going to slide because they're non-slip. And so I'll layer them on those shelf liners, and they're kind of like cushiony and padded.
Yeah.
And I will freeze as many as I can fit into one of those Tupperwares. And that way, when it's the day before I need to package the cookies, I will take all of my Tupperwares out the night before, and I'll put them on the counter, and then whenever I pull them out, they're like this, right? I just have to lift this up, and then I will have usually my tag and my bow, and if you don't use twist tie bows, you should. They're great.
Lifesaver.
Life-saving. And then I just can like pull it out and put the twist tie bow on, and bam, my cookie's ready. So that's how I package cookies. And that's how I freeze cookies for pop-ups if I need to do that. For smaller pop-ups, if you're just doing cookies like that week, you really don't have to freeze them. But I'm talking about, but big pop-ups that you have a lot of people coming, freezing is your best friend. So
when you freeze, do you stack them like layered like this, or do you stack them standing and file?
I have one big Tupperware, so it's also dependent on your freezer availability. So we have one deep freeze, but my husband fills it up with Costco stuff all the time. And so for the most part, I have one big thing that I can freeze like this way. Yeah. And I do prefer that because I feel like it helps with breakage, but most of my containers are the layering like this. And so that's why I'll use the shelf liners or bubble wrap and put that in between. And you can't fit as many, but I don't know. It
still helps.
The peace of mind of like the extra padding,
Yes. Yes, because that's worse. And then hello, we have somebody watching from Armenia. Hello.
Oh my gosh. Hi. That's awesome.
Oh. All right, so we have the event invite. We have the basics. how many would you say? Like, what are your kind of thought process when planning ahead of like your designs? Like, how many designs are you looking for? How do you kind of target that?
So I try to have, so with my designs, I try to have about around 10 of each, because when you're doing these cookies, you also want to photograph them. You need to use them for marketing so that you can post them in that Facebook group or post them on Instagram and get excitement going so people can see what options are available. And so it's kind of like sneak peeks, like for the whole month, whatever you're baking or the whole week, people are getting sneak peeks of the cookies. And so if I make around 8 to 10 of each cookie option, that allows me to get a really good photo for that square Instagram kind of format. If you have like 3 cookies, you'll just, you know, for a photo, sometimes you have to add more staging stuff. But yeah, I try to aim for about 8 to 10. Whenever you're making your icing, I would try to break up your designs in, like for Christmas, for example, I will bake, decorate, and heat seal and freeze in like that 3 or 4 day period. And I will break it up where I'm doing red, green, and white. So those are going to be like what? Your Santa cookies, your sleigh cookies, your stocking, stuff like that. And I'll plan all of my designs around those colors and do all of those in that time period. And then maybe the next week I'll do browns and like light green and pink, and those are going to be my gingerbread houses, my gingerbread cookies, and my reindeers and stuff like that. And then maybe the next time I'm going to make icing that's only light pink and light blue and white for like snow and
Winter Wonderland.
Yes. Yeah. And so really think about your designs ahead of time. You can do so much ahead of time when it comes to pop-ups. Cut your tags, print things out, order supplies, make sure that strip on your heat seal machine is fresh. I don't know if anyone's ever like tried to go to heat seal a bunch of cookies and that thing is broken or something happens, but it is the worst. So make sure you have bags and everything.
Yeah. Yes, mine happened holiday week. We were living with my parents waiting for our house to be built. And thank goodness another cookier had a backup sealer because mine was in storage. And she was like, yeah, come and use it. And I ordered, I think I have like 50 strips now and the like electrical things that click because it would go out. I'm like, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah, mine's about to go out. And I have 2 because I went and bought a backup from a local friend. And I was like, oh, I need this. Yeah. So it's nice to have a backup. But yeah, so prep as much as you can. Another thing you need to check with your cottage laws, but mine in Texas requires labeling. So I make sure I have, if you're going to use like stickers, which I've used stickers before, but pop-ups really are what got me into stamping my bags, because stickers on 800 cookies at a pop-up is just a lot of money that you're spending. And so I order my stamps through Twin Soul Studio. She's awesome and does a lot of cookie stamps. And I'll just stamp my bags with this Stays On ink. I have a whole like highlight on my page if you want to learn more about stamping bags and stuff, but it stays on the plastic, and I stamp all my bags ahead of time so that everything's good to go with that on there. And yeah, I would say just keep things simple though. 1 to maybe 3 flavors max, because people like having different flavor options, but if you have too many, it just gets kind of crazy. So I usually do for Christmas like a chocolate peppermint, like a chocolate cookie with peppermint icing, a snickerdoodle option, and my classic lemon vanilla, which is, I don't really do a lot of vanilla cookies, but mine are lemon vanilla. So those are the like 3 flavors I usually do for Christmas.
People are wanting to know, what size of stamp do you have?
So mine is, I think it's a 3x3.
3x3. I think it's a little bit larger.
And I like the 3x3 because on your 3-inch by like 11 mini bags, you can still stamp them. So the stamp fits perfectly on my mini bags too.
And Twin Soul Studios is amazing at, I had bought, I think something like that. And then mine needed like a line more than what usual cottage food. So she's great at helping you, like if you need to up the size.
She's great.
Like, let's go one more size up. So amazing. People are saying that they bought their stamps because of you.
Oh, well, thanks, guys. I just love her. Like, she's so awesome. So
She is.
that's great. And I don't like I don't get anything. I just love supporting her, and I love that it's like blown up that she has stamps.
She's such a kind person too. That makes it even better.
She's so kind, and yeah, I love that. So with more than one flavor, so in Texas, on my stamp I just say custom sugar cookies, and in Texas, I don't really put like different flavor options or anything. I know some states you have to say like the ingredient list, and so if you're doing flavors, yeah, that can get kind of hard with ingredient lists and stuff. I'm not sure about that because I don't do that. But you know, when you go like you can order online stickers where kind of like when you're going yard sale, at a garage sale, and they have the little circle colored dot stickers. You can buy those and maybe have like a piece of paper that has a key that says, you know, vanilla is a yellow sticker, and that way people know the flavor options and they're not always asking like, what's this flavor? What's this flavor?
That's smart.
Yeah, so that is helpful. Or even keeping things in sections, like this table is all snickerdoodle and this table is all this, so that it helps keep things organized with the flavor options.
People are saying that there's change. My state of Arizona requires the ingredients to be labeled, and so I chose my 3 flavors that I use the most when it comes to like holidays and things like that, because I offer seasonal flavors. Like lemon was my summer flavor. Chocolate's coming up here, so I purchased stamps for each of those.
Okay.
So
that's smart.
Yeah, I would have had to purchase stickers for them, so I'd rather make that one-time investment and be all with the stamp.
Yeah.
What do you do when you add sprinkles or pearls for eyes?
So my favorite, I don't use a lot of sprinkles, but my favorite are the 4 millimeter, right? The black sugar pearls from PME.
Mm-hmm.
But I get them from like Grunder, Flea, Delicious, or honestly most of the cake supply stores have, or like cookie supplies. But these don't bleed, and I find they're just like a really good size. They also don't break your teeth. Like they're gonna be a sprinkle that you crunch, but they're not gonna chip your teeth. So, and I just flood the cookie and I just plop those bad boys on and let it dry, and then I'll use an edible pen to do details on top for that.
Nice, awesome. All right, so with that being said, how do you decide, like, when you gear your designs and pre-sales, are you like, we were talking pop-up, when we were talking pre-sale, we were saying like try and keep in mind like a custom cookie or a dozen for a party or anything like that. Is there a thought process that you utilize to help you kind of like steer your design process, like you're making sure you're covering certain parts?
Sure, yeah. So I would say make sure you know like your target market as always. My best friend is a cookier in San Antonio, and she sells like so many of the like 3-pack cookie sets or dozen, you know, like the bigger items. And my sweet spot is minis and singles. And so for me at my pop-ups, I have done a couple boxes of 1 dozen holiday cookies, but I feel like they're always kind of the last to sell, because at a pop-up you have to remember people are going there for, and it also depends what holiday, but mostly Valentine's and Christmas are going to be like really hot pop-up holidays. People are going there to buy gifts for other people, and they're not going to spend like, unless I mean they want to, but they're not going to spend $50 on 1 box of cookies. They would rather get, you know, 10 cookies that they can give out to their neighbors for a smaller price point. And so I try to have a good mix of mini cookies, single cookies. I always try to have like a tag with like a bow, so it looks like a present, you know, and it has a little message on it, and so it's like a full package, because when you're buying someone a gift, you usually buy like a gift and then a greeting card. And so that kind of like encompasses it all if you go the extra mile for your packaging at your pop-ups. And then I'll have a lot of the 2-pack cookie boxes sell pretty well, or if you want to do a cookie box in a 2-pack, I know you've done this too, is buying like Starbucks gift cards and coffee cookies. People love coffee. I mean, people love coffee. So coffee
Yes,
cookies,
it's my like IV.
yes,
Let's
for
be
any
real.
holiday. And then just pair it with a Starbucks gift card, and your customers will love that because you now took out the hassle of going to Starbucks and waiting in the line and getting that gift card. So if you have that available, that's going to incentivize them to buy that 2 box of cookie. And then sometimes I will have a couple bigger boxes. If you do dozen sets and you want to have a few at your pop-up, I would recommend doing mini sets because they take less time and you can sell that at the smaller price point, but people are still getting like 12 cookies. And then the last thing I'll say is when people go to pop-ups, a lot of them will have a kid in tow. And then also, we all like cookies ourselves. And so have an option there for, I usually try to have cookie sticks, which I call them, which are just like a rectangle, cookie stick. Yeah. And I'll just flood it white and airbrush it like a holiday design, or keep it really simple. Add some just like holiday sprinkles on it and sell it for a cheap price point. And I'll do them in all the flavors. And people will grab those and just have them for themselves in the car, or have like little minis on a cookie card that they can give to their kid, and because their kid's going to see cookies and they want one themselves. So have smaller options for your customers to just grab. You don't have to add tags or anything on them, just something for them to have in the car themselves. And people really appreciate that. And then if you do freeze cookies or you just mess up, say this eyeball got a little like down here accidentally. You mess up on this cookie, don't throw it away and don't eat it yourself. Save it and you can break it up. I usually break up the cookies and just like chop them up on a chopping board. And then I put them in a little cake stand with a little serving utensil, and I say free samples. So people that are coming to your pop-up that may have never tried your cookies are able to get the samples. And I've had people be like, oh my gosh, like that, where is that flavor? I need to find that. I need it now.
Love that.
And then, you're selling more because you have offered people a little taste of your product.
You guys, or if you're not having broken cookies, make sure your samples are made using edible dough. Like, don't use like leftover dough. And then at the end of it, you can take your samples and chop them up. Because I know I tend to make my samples thinner because no one's usually eating them. So it's still a way for people to try it. But that is amazing. I love that. And I love the little tester ones. Like, I want to have that now for pickup. Even though I don't do pop-up as much, like I want to do that for pre-sale because
yes, I always give a free little mini at my pre-sales when people order, and I swear it's their favorite part. It's like they eat it in the car, and they always text me and they're like, I haven't even made it out of your street and I've already eaten my cookies. So people love a little, little something for them.
Chelsea gave me that idea when I was doing pre-sales, and to get people to show up on time, she's like, offer a mini cookie. And so I said, like, the first 20 people get a free mini cookie. And I had people there like 20 minutes early, and they were like, I just want to make sure I got a cookie. I'm like, early is always better than late. So
if you want to get real smart, you can offer a sample or like a mini cookie of a future holiday flavor. Yes. So say you're doing like an Easter pop or like a, back to school sale, and you want to offer a pumpkin spice. That's what I did this year for back to school. I offered pumpkin spice as my flavor, and people were like, I need more of this pumpkin spice flavor. And I'm like, well, you can have it, but you're going to have to come to my next day, And so you just always need to be thinking ahead.
Yes, definitely. So with pop-ups, again, I've only done one, but I feel as if people would, like, what if they can't make that event? Do you ever find that people are asking, like, oh man, I can't make it, what do I do? How do you like tackle that topic?
So one thing with pop-ups is you have to be careful because you really need to make sure that that you stick to your guns about not pre-selling pop-up cookies. So one thing I always do for pop-ups also to get people in the door is I always focus on like simple designs, but usually, during the holidays, there's always like something popular, like Among Us or Baby Yoda was popular a few years ago when I did a pop-up, and those character kind of cookies may take a little bit longer, or like Elf, so I will offer maybe like 10 special, like an extra 10 of one cookie that that is a little more detailed, right? And it's like a hot ticket item. And I will let people know in like the Facebook group and stuff and say, I have 10 of these, and so if you want this cookie and your kid can't live unless they have this cookie, then you better get there early. And it creates people like a sense of urgency, and so it gets people to form a line and get ready for your pop-up. So when I did the Baby Yoda cookies, I had so many people messaging me saying like, I can't make it. Can you please hold like 3 of the Baby Yoda cookies for me? Or one person was like, can you hold 6 Baby Yoda cookies? I need them for my team or whatever. And you can't pre-sell cookies, because what happens to the person who did come, they waited in line and they walk in and now there's only 2 Baby Yoda cookies because you pre-sold to someone else. How do you think they're gonna feel? And so I always tell people, unfortunately, because life happens, and I know I have missed out on cookie shirts that I didn't get because I didn't set my timer, right? And so I've missed out on things because I did not set an alarm, or I just couldn't make it because life. Yeah. And so to those people, you just want to kindly message and say, thanks for thinking of me, but I unfortunately won't be able to hold any cookies to keep things fair for everyone. I'm sorry that you can't come, but if there are any extras available, I will let you know. You will be the first to know. And people appreciate that. And then also, if you do have leftover cookies, it gives you a place to contact someone so that they can hopefully get those cookies and you won't have leftovers anymore.
Yes. That's always, I feel like even for pre-sale, I know I've shared that I always make extra for each pre-sale. And then I'm like, oh gosh, what if these don't sell? What if, and then people will say, I missed out on the sale. And you guys keep that running list of customers. I put them in order that they email, and I'll just start with the top one and I'll say, hey, I just want to give you first dibs within, like, if you could respond within the next 15 minutes, if not, I need to move on to the next person. And I have had the best of luck with like the first 2 people will usually snag the remainder of them. And I'm like, such a relief that you don't have extra.
Yeah, it's such a relief that they're gone, but also nice because you have a buffer for yourself. If you mess up, you have a few extras. Mm-hmm.
Yes, definitely on that one. With that being said, as you're transitioning for the sales of the cookies, what is your perspective? What have you found works best for the big day? Like, we've arrived, we have our cookies packaged and designed. How do you kind of set up? Like, what do you have a process of that?
So a lot of people do their pop-ups in a store, and my pop-ups that I have done, I do them in my dining room. And so I kind of set it up where I have like a little buffet table, and then I have my center dining room table, and then like another little, I don't know, cabinet or whatever. Yeah. And then I will also pull out another outside table, and then I'll put like tablecloths on everything. So if it's Christmas, everything is decorated. Christmas everywhere. I bring out all the decorations are in my one living room or my dining room. And so people will come in, and I haven't done it since COVID, but if I were, I would only allow a few people at a time. Mm-hmm. Or you could do an outdoor pop-up if you're more comfortable with that. But I let people kind of like do a little loop around my table, and they have things on the outside they can look at. They can come in, they get a bag when they walk in, and they can just shop, and people love it. I mean, my most popular Instagram stories when I post are when I'm at Target and I just post random things that I see, because people love shopping. They love looking at things and checking it out and holding it and feeling it. And so that's one of the major appeals of a pop-up, is they get to come and really shop and look at all the options and choose what they want.
Yes.
And so, yeah, and then after they loop around and they grab, and I'm just there answering questions and talking with people. It's always such a fun time. And definitely have someone there to help you. Oh. My husband will be there. And after they loop around, he's always there with helping tally up totals. And he has my Square reader, which I plug into my phone. If you don't have one, pretty sure you can still get one for free. I got mine for free, at least. You can just sign up on the Square website. And it's just like a card reader, so people can easily pay. Also have like your Venmo or PayPal with the QR, is it
QR
a
codes.
QR code?
Yeah.
Available for people to scan, and just make the process very, very easy and just effortless to check out and pay. And anyway, that's just kind of like the process I have.
Do you find offering more than one outlet for payment has been successful, since maybe people want to pay with Venmo, some want to pay with PayPal?
Definitely. Yeah, I feel like Venmo and a card are my most popular. Make sure you have cash on hand too. I feel like an hour before my pop-up, I'm always like, oh no, I don't have any cash. And so I always keep a little like belt with some spare change to give people change. That's always something I forget. But yeah, Venmo and card reader are definitely, I feel like, the most popular.
And then on Square, you can add things, correct? I know I use PayPal, but I can add inventory on mine. Can you do that on Square as well?
Yes. So this is the only time I use Square. I don't use it on my website or anything, but you can go onto your Square app and you can add like one paint your own cookie, like $5. And I always attach a little picture, because when I'm in the moment of trying to tally people up, I just go by like picture, and I just start like clicking the item that they bought, and then it just totals it up for you, and it can like send them an email and everything. It's very, very, very easy.
That's amazing. Amy, do you pay a fee for using the Square app? Yes.
Yes. Yep.
We've discussed this like in our pricing episode and things. We have not found a means, because now Venmo, as we've all been aware, has switched over to business things. It's really hard to find a card processor that is not going to charge a fee, but it's a write-off, you guys. It's a tax write-off. So Square will send it to you. Let's see what our next question is. How do I know I'm ready for a pop-up? I'm part-time and mostly just do customs right now, but want to love into pre-sale or pop-ups.
That's a good question. I feel like if you I don't know, pre-sales and pop-ups are similar in a lot of ways, but they're different. But what I love about pop-ups is you are in control. So you decide how many cookies you want to make. You decide what designs you want to make. And it is like that with a pre-sale, but with a pre-sale, you have sold so many and you commit ahead of time, and then you have to make those. But with a pop-up, there's been times where I made a bunch of designs and I just didn't want to make, a sleigh cookie because I made a Santa cookie. And so I ditched it and I went to bed, instead of working more because I had to. And so I feel like you are there's a lot more control with a pop-up. But I would suggest maybe keeping it small. So you don't have to do like a huge pop-up. You could just do a pop-up. I know a lot of people do pop-ups at market days or like vendor booths and stuff like that. William and Sonoma and Crate and Barrel maybe are popular places where they are very supportive of small businesses. And so if you go in there and make a relationship with small businesses in your town, and a lot of times they welcome small businesses to have a little pop-up. And you can just have one little table with, maybe a couple dozen cookie options. Because guess what? If you make too little, you sell out. And there's nothing wrong about selling out.
Nope.
I would rather always sell out than have too many. So I would just say start small and try it out. And if you sell out, say in like 10 minutes, then next time to increase that number of cookies. And it just gives you a good gauge for how to plan in the future.
Right. And I know we had somebody ask how to find a pop-up location that you had just hit on. If you don't have any of those in your area, contact your local coffee shops, or sometimes your hair salons, or anything in those type of aspects where at the holidays people are really getting into. Everyone is going to get coffee while they're out Christmas shopping. Usually it's heightened time for everyone to get their hair done, their nails done, all of these little things. So if there's like a med spa or something in your area that again, those smaller companies are a lot more willing to work. Or the craft shops. I know we have those that like those cute little like gift craft shops that you can go to.
Yeah. Or like boutiques, like clothing boutiques, because that is your target market. a lot of places have men and women coming in, but a lot of times guys aren't gonna, I mean, never say
They're
never.
gonna grab
but,
one to eat
you know,
and keep it
go
moving.
for your target market. Who's your target market? Where do they shop? I mean, my target market is me. So wherever I shop, that's where I would go for a pop-up.
Right.
And don't be afraid to just like talk and make a relationship with the business owners, because I mean, they might not even know it's an option. Like if I came to you, Chelsea, and said like, hey, do you want to do this collaboration? It may have been something you never thought about, and you're like, oh, that's a good idea, you know, but it's not like you're thinking of it and advertising it because you didn't even know it was a possibility.
Right.
So make relationships with people and put it out there. You know, the worst thing that can happen is they say no and you find someone else.
So we have some suggestions here about boutiques, and then it may even be worth going over to the next town and using the downtown areas. Those quaint areas have tons of options. If they have events, you could be a vendor as well. Very true. Very true.
Yes.
You always kind of have to be, I feel, in business, and we've had this discussion when we've talked pricing, when we've talked part-time and full-time bakers, is it's your business. So how are you going to grow that? It's kind of a mindset that you have to shift and train yourself to think on. But I know for myself, for holidays, and this could work for pop-up or pre-sale, I have collabed with other smaller shops. Like last year I did the Santa trays, like the cookies and milk for Santa.
Yeah.
And they could get mine because it was pre-sale. They could get them, I think we did with their name on it. But if not, just even pairing with somebody that does wooden signs, you're like, hey, I'm going to do a pop-up in my yard. Do you want to join? Because it could bring in their target audience, or someone who does like coffee cups and tumblers, or those cute little knickknacks that pair so perfectly with a cookie.
Yeah.
I would buy a cookie that's shaped as a coffee cup with the Starbucks gift card, and then go right next, like door to the little next table, and get a cute coffee cup and be like, here you go, my whole present's done, and I shop small.
Yep.
So
Always
always
people are looking for like a quick gift.
Or if this is your first time, and again, your best friend does tumblers, be like, hey, do you guys want to come with me, and we'll just go to my house or whatever it is and do that. Again, you're drawing in an audience that you would not have reached on your own, yet you both are benefiting from it. So there's always great.
And don't forget, when you were saying tumblers and like cute gifts, Dollar Tree right now, go now for Christmas stuff. I know it's October, but go now. Like those, I sell so many like Valentine's, this little box, like you can put like a bunch of mini cookies in there, and you don't even need a tag or anything. This is your packaging, and it's so easy because you just put the lid on it, and you can upsell because you bought the box. And anyway, Dollar Tree has like the cutest little mailboxes, or like coffee cups for the holidays. Always sell super, super good.
Wink, wink. You guys, you can go on dollartree.com and pre-order and have it delivered to your store for free. And it's guaranteed to be there. So you're not like, oh man, there's only 4 and you're trying to run to all of them. If you order now, they will be
smart.
there.
I have one Dollar Tree in my area that I feel like is hidden. No one ever goes to it. So I'm not telling it. If you ask me, I won't tell you. Because it's my little sweet spot in the area, and they always have the best packaging. So
I love those. I love when you find them, you're like, yes, it's gold.
Yes.
I know, I get nervous on like, I'll share my Christmas packaging, guys, once I've ordered it for this reason. I get really scared that they're gonna like sell out of certain things that are like staples. I'm like, no. I'll order first and then I'll share from there. But yeah. All right, so we've kind of touched, I think, on the general basis of pop-ups. I know the big question, and you kind of hit on it, was so many people, and I know it's one of my personal fears of why I've kind of strayed away from pop-up, is the fear of having leftover cookies. Like, oh my gosh, I put in all this work and all this inventory. What do I do with them? So I know we talked about the customers that have emailed you, but if you don't have that, what is your trick on utilizing that extra inventory?
So yeah, that's why I definitely suggest the Facebook group, because it helps gauge how many people are coming, and you can put out polls even on Instagram if you don't use Facebook to get an idea. But not everyone that RSVPs will actually attend. And also sometimes you get like less people, but then you'll get one person that comes in and buys, you know, like $200 in cookies. And so, you know, it's hard to tell, but like I said earlier, it's better to sell out than not. However, you don't want to sell out too soon, because then you get people that show up, and I've had that happen, and they're like, I came and no one's here. So when you do a pop-up, it's very important to update during the process and kind of let people know, because if they're driving all the way to your house or wherever the location is and you sell out early, try to communicate as much as possible how many cookies you have left. But if you do have extra cookies, it's not the end of the world, because there's a few things you can do. So you can do a flash sale, which is putting them online. So maybe someone couldn't come to your event, and you can say, I have these available, and I wouldn't discount them, because that can run into problems for people that came to your pop-up and got, they paid full price. And then if you flash sale with a discount, it's kind of like, oh, well, I should have just waited for the flash sale. So yeah, you can flash sell them and try to just get rid of them there. Or worst case scenario, you can, so my friend Jessica in San Antonio, her first, it wasn't a pop-up, but she had an order of like Halloween cookies that someone ordered and never came and picked up. So she had like 4 dozen individually packaged Halloween cookies, and she's like, what am I going to do? And she started giving them to trick-or-treaters. And because it was Halloween. And because of that, though, she got like orders from people later on that were like, oh my gosh, that cookie was great. So pass them out to your neighbors and use them as advertising. Put them in a big basket. I've done this before. I had one of those BRP baskets. Put them in there and put them in the teacher workroom, and have your business cards available, and you will get orders from it. So having extra cookies can be discouraging, because a lot of times we'll internalize that and think people don't like me, or people don't like my product, and
or this is my heart and soul into my artwork and I'm not good enough and everyone else is selling out.
Exactly. And I promise you, people, I bet, are selling out, but I bet they probably still have a few extra. Like, I know one time I put like, I'm sold out, even though I had 2 extra cookies, but one of them was broken, and one of them, like, I just wanted for myself, because it was like a job well done at the end of the day, and I was going to eat that cookie. It was sold to me. So yeah, just don't ever internalize it. There's always, put a positive spin on it, and you can always find a way to, give it to someone, eat them yourself, give them to your kids, I've given them to neighbors. One time at the end, I had like 2 cookies left, and I wasn't going to advertise at my pop-up, 2 cookies left, because I didn't want like 5 people coming and then fight, there's a point at the end of a pop-up where you kind of have to like call it, where if someone comes and they show up and there's 1 cookie left, are they going to be disappointed, So yeah, and then just find a way to get rid of that, and have a cookie. If you're doing a pop-up at a location, have a cookie for the owner of the store as a thank you. Give them something too.
Yeah, I love that. I do little neighbor gifts for like at the holidays, little buckets and stuff like that. So I'll always use my extras and think of them first.
One of my neighbors always counts on me having extras. He's like, got any extras? So,
My mom's old neighbor, well, when I was there, he's still the neighbor. It was the best, man. Some of them are great at like sampling your cookies. If you're trying new flavors and things, I would send them over to him, and I was like, send me a review. And he would legit, love you, Eric, if you're watching this, dude, and be like, a little bit less on the frosting, a little bit more of this flavoring. Thank you.
Constructive, instead of just like, it's great.
Yes.
And you're like, that doesn't help me.
No,
give me some more.
Yes,
give me the juice.
Taste tester. I love that. Well, we will dive in. Let's see. My neighbors are always asking if I'm. Let's see.
That's funny.
My kids are now asking so that they can like shell out cookies at school. I'm like, okay. Like the Pop-It cookies. You guys, if you did not see, I did Pop-It cookies this week for my daughter. If you get a Pop-It order, just know it takes a lot more time than you think.
Yours were good. They didn't have a lot of craters or anything. Like, I'm impressed.
I was trying for you guys as kids. I don't know how many of you, when you do your own kids' cookies, you're like, this is what you're getting. But somebody had commented, and they're like, I think Pop-Its are the only cookies that craters are welcome, because it makes it look like it's popped in.
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, I didn't even think of
I
that.
thought about that.
I love it. Bluebird Lane Cookie Co. How long do you give for the pop-up? 1 hour, 2 hours? Yeah, what is your time frame on that?
I usually do 2 hours.
Mhm.
Most of the time, in the past, I've sold out around an hour and a half. And so, but I like to give 2 hours. More than that, I feel like is just too much time.
Mhm.
If it's a smaller pop-up, you can just do 1 hour. I would say 1.5 to 2 hours. Usually I do pop-ups on Saturdays, and I do them around, I don't know, I've done them around like 11 a.m. to like 1, because that's around the holidays is when people think about times where people are out shopping. Like, you're not going to want to do it too early because people are still waking up and getting ready. But when people are heading out the door, for me, you sleep in on Saturday and you head out the door around 11 is a great time. Or if you want to do an afternoon one, 1 to 3 is a good option because it's right after lunch and maybe they want to head over. But I wouldn't do it too late on a Saturday for a pop-up.
No.
2 hours is really good. But like I said earlier, if you do the 2 hours, just make sure you're updating on social media, communicate ahead of time. I always like to go live on my page. And if you're nervous to go live, don't fret, because you can turn your camera around and just show your product.
Yes.
Just show what you have. Show people the options available. If you're coming to shop, here's what we have. And like show like the ambiance, the Christmas stuff you have set up, and the whole experience that they're going to get when they show up. And let them know that you will be updating as time goes, how many are available. So like stay tuned on your social media so that they can see, how many are there. And that way, if at the 1.5 hour mark you do sell out, you can communicate that.
And I always love seeing what you're going to wear to your pop-ups, because if you're like me, you dress festively for the occasion.
I've got my pink and yellow.
I know.
My yellow highlighter, I guess.
I love it. I love it. You guys pay attention. Chelsea will have like the cutest like Halloween shirt on, Halloween headband, and it's all done up. I love it. How many days before holidays do you do pop-ups? That's a great question, because we kept getting asked that for like Halloween this year being on a Sunday with parties. How do you kind of arrange that?
So Halloween is so tricky. I feel like Halloween and Thanksgiving is the worst because it's on a Thursday, but then you have you want to give teacher cookies.
But who's
so you
leaving out of town?
Yeah. It's always hard.
Yes.
I would just say pick a date and stick to it. I mean, you can't please everyone, but typically for me, I've already looked at the calendar for Christmas this year, so we'll go with that. I think Christmas is on a Saturday this year, and so I would do a pop-up on the 18th, which is the Saturday before Christmas, and that allows people to come, and if your cookies are heat sealed, they will be totally fine for that amount of time. And yeah, I just try to do it about a week, the weekend before the holiday is when I would do it. If you think like your customers Sunday would be better, or if you want to do like a Monday afternoon pop-up and you have a location locally that's the date that works, it's fine. Just stick to whatever you choose, stick to it, and know that you'll get people that are like, oh, I can't make it that day. And just invite them to come to future events that you have, or let them know again if you have extras that you
or
will
send a friend.
Or send a friend, yeah.
Tell them to FaceTime.
Yep.
Somebody asked, do you find you have more success on weekend pop-ups or during the week pop-ups?
Saturday is like the best day for me personally for pop-ups. Now, pre-sales, I feel like pickups on Saturday, it's like the worst for me. So that's kind of weird. But yeah, so pre-sales for me do best at night, like a 6 to 8 p.m. on, like a Wednesday or something like that, or a Sunday.
Yes. No, if I do I try and aim for Saturday pickups for pre-sale, but you kind of it's got to like find a sweet spot, and it's usually like 2:30 to like 4:30.
Yeah.
So it's a really odd.
And yeah, do a poll on Instagram and see when your customers are
Yeah.
available, and see when people would like, and kind of if you're unsure, the Instagram polls are great, because if you're unsure, just let Instagram poll decide for you. Throw it out there and be like, all right, whatever happens, and you can't get mad, because that's what the majority said. Just like in elementary school, majority hand up, and that's what we're going with.
Yes, you guys, I did that this week on a set that I'm doing for Halloween. I couldn't decide. I did 2 different variations of it. I'm like, which one would you guys prefer? Sometimes I will let you know my poll came back almost deadlocked. I was like, what?
Roll the dice.
I know.
Flip a coin.
So I was like, I guess I'll just choose whatever one at this point.
I'm probably the most indecisive person ever, so stuff like that is the worst. I'm always like weighing my options, like which one's better. I have to like have a plan, and so yeah, anytime I can have someone else make the decision, like in a poll, that's the winner.
And it involves your guys as customers and allows them to feel part of the process.
Yeah.
Because this shop is for them, or this pre-sale is for them. These customs are for them. So it's just, again, relying on the people that you're kind of using to help navigate your business. But all right, so one last question that we had sent in that we didn't really hit too much is pros and cons of having it at your house.
So for me, a pro of having it at my house is I can set the date whenever I want, and I have control. I can decorate, I can take my time, I can set it up the day before if I want and just relax. You can really have a lot of control with your house. But say you live in an apartment or you don't have a place in your house that would work. Setting it outside, you could get a pop-up tent. I think like Casey's Cakery has done a pop-up, and she got a few like pop-up, those canopy tents, and set up tables outside, like in her driveway. So you can do that. It's always scary. The weather is the biggest thing for me that can ruin a pop-up, right? So you always want to have a backup plan if it is outside, a backup plan where you can move it somewhere else. And then having it at the benefit to having it at another location. So I've never done a pop-up in another store, but I feel like the benefit is you don't have people in your house, so you don't have to like clean it while you're doing cooking.
Yeah.
You do have to keep your house clean, but like you don't have to like stage it or anything like that. The event, the location is what the ambience is there. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It just kind of depends. Yeah, your space, what you have, and if your home or whatever is easy to get to, you can use maybe someone else's home, or if you have like a clubhouse in your neighborhood, you maybe can ask them and use. So that's a good thing. And number one reason is it's free. Some places will charge you to. I feel like a lot of places will let you do it free because you're bringing business into their store, and so they welcome you to do a pop-up there. But yeah, if you, and also I've done big pop-ups, but I've also done porch pop-ups. So at Hobby Lobby, those like stands that everyone has where it's just a couple baskets. You can do small porch pop-ups if you live in like in an apartment even, or do it, I don't know, you can find a location, maybe
a friend's
like
house.
at a friend's house or something, and do a porch pop-up. So I've also done a self-serve pop-up.
I was just gonna ask that because I'm like terrified of that.
So
how do you feel?
It's risky. I feel like I live in like a cul-de-sac, so I feel like if anyone, and I have like a Ring camera right in front of the self-serve, and with self-serve I only do Venmo and PayPal, but I've never had anyone steal cookies. My friends had someone steal cookies. I don't know. I feel like I'm also like right outside the window. I don't know, like watching people. So I'm like, yeah, just waiting. But so I don't know if that defeats the whole self-serve point. But or you can just do like sit in a chair and just hang out outside with like a drink for an hour while you do a small porch pop-up. But my point is, you don't have to make it this huge thing. If you're intimidated and you're just starting out, take it baby steps and grow. You know, start with one of those tiered baskets and just fill each basket with one item and just stick with that, and then have payment very easily available. I always have like just a little basket with bags, and that's another thing. In my Instagram, in my highlights under, I think, packaging or maybe bags, I did a very extensive like showing of the handle bags that you put your cookies in and stuff, the different sizes, and kind of why I choose those sizes for different kind of cookies. So if you're looking for bags, have those available and stuff. Have, you know, a little thing of hand sanitizer, just for peace of mind for people and stuff like that. So yeah, just keep it small. It doesn't have to be big. So make it however you want.
I love that.
Yeah, a little folding table. Just put a folding table, get some like baskets from Target, and just fill it up, and just have a little sign that you can print, frame it just with your logo, and little payment options. You don't need like all of the wood trays and all of the like custom signage and all that. Just keep it small.
Yes, and you guys, it's a great way. If this is your first holiday season, it's a wonderful way to reach out to people, to test your designs, test your flavoring, and really start to grow your business. I know when I do pickups, or even when I had pickups, not in the pickup line, but when people would come and like up to the front yard and have the table, I'd have random people stop and they're like, "What are you guys selling?" I'm like, "Oh no, these are cookie pickups." So you do get that random people go. I don't know if you've ever, guys, I know Nerd Alert, researched lines, but there's something about people are drawn to lines. So if they see others, they're like, "Oh, what am I missing out on?"
Yeah.
So it could be a great way to draw that.
That's why I always try to have like that one option where I spend a little more time on that option, and it's like a hot item. And if you don't get it first, like, you're probably gonna miss out on it. I kind of feel bad, but you can't also make like all Baby Yoda cookies, you know, at a pop-up. That's one thing that's hard, is like people may come for like one item that they saw you advertise, and so they're coming for that item and that's what they want, but then they get there and it's sold out. And are they going to turn around and drive off and just not buy anything? Most likely not. If you have other options, they're already there, so they're probably just going to find like a plan B and just like find something else that
You're gonna peruse,
that they're going to like just as much, you know. But that hot ticket item that you advertise, maybe just something like current and trendy or fun, that will create that line out the door. And once that line starts, then, you know, it creates buzz, and it helps your business, and it creates that urgency and excitement.
you guys. I'm telling you right now, do some Pop-It cookies shaped as a pumpkin.
Pop-It pumpkin Pop-It.
10 of them. Don't do more than that.
Only 10.
Fountain City Sweets, we did talk about that a little bit in the beginning. The dozens, or how many you're going to do, is really going to be dependent, Chelsea was saying, upon how many people are RSVPing. And then, yes, trying to hit all the singles, minis, whatever is kind of working with your area. Melissa and I are very big on expressing to you guys that you have to kind of find what works in your target market. Because like even Chelsea said, in Texas, what sells for her friend who's also in the same area that's not what's working with her group. So it's always great on that. But you guys, I get to do this tonight. Chelsea has generously worked with us to do that, credit to her shop, and I get to spin the spinner. So hopefully I do this right. So we're gonna see.
I don't know how this works, but I'm all for it.
It's spinning.
Oh,
so yeah,
that's cool.
Let's see.
Yes, definitely rewatch, because there's so much good info.
Is Krista here from Domestic Cookie? Let's see. It did say you have to be here. So.
Oh, did it land on Krista?
It did land on Krista. Let's see. Krista doesn't do cookies, so Krista, I'll buy you a coffee, girl. But I'm gonna spin. So.
And my tag shop it's not the biggest, but if you have like a custom tag option, let me know. And if you have like a cookie that you cannot find a tag for, let me know. I know Chelsea you had me make a
Yes.
couple for you, and I'm always happy to do like custom tags as long as it's something that's not like
Copy
Jacob,
this
I
person.
love you. That it's like very, 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 very custom. So yeah, if you have ideas or something, I'm always happy to make more.
Okay. Love of Sprinkles. Are you here?
That's a cute name.
Love of Sprinkles. We always sing something since we're not doing our bake of the week. Thanks, Chelsea times 2.
Oh,
yes.
You're welcome.
Chelsea squared. All right, Love of Sprinkles. I'm gonna give you a moment. I don't know. I don't want to exit out of this. Goodness, Melissa's good at checking to see if they're here. But
someone also asked if I limit customers on quantity at a pop-up, and I don't. I mean, a lot of times the people that I have a couple customers that they go big and they come like first in line because they will buy a lot, and whatever they buy, if you're there and you're willing to wait in the line or you're first one there, then it's just kind of just like at a store on Black Friday. If you're the first one and you then you get to choose, you know. So I don't put limits on anything, but again, it's your business, and so if there's something that you have, that specialty cookie that you only have a few of, if you want to say like one per customer, then do that. It's up to you.
You're the boss.
Yep.
All right, Love of Sprinkles is going to be the last call. Wait a sec. Chelsea, do you want to tell us while we're waiting, I'll give her this last round, your amazing offer that you're giving our cookie chatters?
So everyone on here, and we'll post it later too, but gets a 20% off coupon to buy tags. So I have worked on a lot of Halloween ones this week, and then I'll be moving on to Thanksgiving, and then I'll be moving on to a lot of Christmas. So a lot of holiday ones will be uploaded soon, but the code will be, do you want me to tell the coupon code?
Sure. And we'll post this, guys.
Okay, it's Cookie Chat 20.
Yay!
Is the coupon code. And
I'm so
excited. Shop is Pink Lemon Puns on Etsy. So and Chelsea, you have a really, really awesome, I'm not going to say what it is yet, but idea that I'm so excited that I'm working on that I will be listing soon. So anyway, but
I'm excited.
So yeah, there'll be things in the future that are really cool. It's not a tag, but it's a cool cookie printable, I'll say, that you can use in business. Yes, concept.
Okay. Love of Sprinkles didn't respond, so we're going to go with Ashley's Doodles. Are you here? Ashley's Doodles. You're here. Let us know below. Yes, I'm so excited for that. My cheeks hurt from smiling, but I think it'll be amazing. So you guys, and we'll also post in our stories a little question box with Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up for Chelsea, that if you guys have tag ideas of like taglines you want or cute things like that go with the holidays, Ashley's here! Yay! You win!
Calm down.
We can always send those over to her too, so that way it can kind of help all of us learn like what's going to be hot this season and what you guys want to see, because we always love to support other small businesses, and Chelsea is amazing and so kind.
Like, do better on my tag Instagram. I feel like it's just hard. It's hard. I mean, you guys get it, right? It's just life. It's hard managing too many Instagrams.
Oh yeah, I know. How many times have I accidentally posted on the cookie chat and I meant to post on my personal?
Yeah. So I kind of like let that slide, but anyway, it's all fine. Everything's
awesome.
Fine.
Well, you guys, thank you so much, and thank you, Chelsea, for being here with us and sharing.
Thank you for having me, and it was fun talking, and it was awesome. So
you're welcome back anytime. We will take you with loving arms for chatting with Chelsea on Wednesday. But next week, Melissa has a little fun up her sleeve for you guys. My dog is already up
the door because he knows that it's ending. She has something fun up her sleeve that she'll pop on to the cookie chat and share. So if you're new here coming from Chelsea's page, welcome. We'd love to have you at the cookie chat. Each week we tackle topics regarding small business, mainly geared towards bakers, cookiers, etc. But we're always looking for new little members to come join our corner of the internet. So next week, Melissa will be here. I will be off in finishing up these Halloween cookies. So all of that fun stuff. But thank you. So make sure you go follow Chelsea over at Pink Lemon Cookie. I'm Chelsea with Rolling in the Dough AZ. And then we have Miss Melissa with Missy P Sweets. But have a wonderful Wednesday, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Thanks, guys.